엄청 좋아하는데 여드름만 못 먹는 중 엄청 좋아요.
Korean Wars and everything situated. So it was a lot of historical heritage in the city of Seoul or the countries that just well people I mean World War II and everything with bomb and
보셨어요, 그 판?
이거 내가 사실 front line is orange name of orange any small drama to me so much could imagine orange that's the cast
와.
so so we must try right this is instruction
지속 가능성.
a lot about actually it's important about it we talked about it because when you said a lot of so when
Okay, everyone. Thank you for joining us again this afternoon. Thank you to everyone online. I just want to say thank you to Valeria, who actually gave a little introduction in the chat, which I missed, from the Chilean Navy. So she says that she's looking forward to working with us and sharing her experiences. So just thank you. And hello, it's wonderful to have you on there. I don't suppose there's anyone else online who hasn't had a chance to say hello. Looks like we've got, is Francisco on the line that could say a quick hello? Or Enrique? We also have Zhao Yuya. Okay, no worries. Hopefully you're all listening at the very least. But no, thank you. Welcome back again. This session, we've had a quick update on some of our tasks that we're working on. Some of those will go into greater detail tomorrow morning, particularly about the model course and the website. But I want to focus this afternoon session looking at a bit further afield at the next task period. So we have this task period until the end of ENG24, and then ENG25 onwards, that is our next task period. So I believe it's ENG25 to ENG30. I need to confirm that that's the case with this next task period, as it's now going to be 3 years. But from my understanding, it's ENG25 to ENG30 that we're looking at. So I'll just share my thing, because I want to create a list of possible tasks that I think we should consider as a working group, and really eager to hear your thoughts as we progress as well, because as I mentioned, I have a meeting with the other chairs to discuss what our task register is going to look like, what our action plan is going to look like. So Tony's not here right now, but I want I was going to ask him to give us just a bit of a rundown on the designation task, is something that we could add to the register. So I'll wait till he's back for that one. We've also had discussion about perhaps a guideline on restoration, maybe. I don't know if what are your thoughts on that? Do you think that could be a new guideline we could put in?
Yeah, it could. I think it could be, or it could be included in something else. But I think it's important to know, because sometimes you have to restore something, and what period do you restore it? I think it goes back to the idea of what is history of heritage and things like that. And I believe, like people look at the UNESCO, I think they have a very strict guideline. Like if you're restoring something, if you have proper documentations and original documentation, you're okay to restore. But if you don't have that, make it totally different, so that you know that it's new or old. I think those sort of things, I think are reference that we could bring up and put in. And I think it could be within your I think your document, or it could be a separate one.
It could be a separate one.
Yeah.
I think I'm leaning towards it potentially being separate, just to keep it so that there's guidelines for those that are, installing, perhaps removing new equipment inside heritage lighthouses, whereas this is perhaps restoration of a building, which is a bit more in depth, a bit more technical, based.
It goes back to the color idea, I think. What
Mm.
point do you,
Exactly,
And-
exactly.
I think it will be nice to include how difficult, the process, how, how difficult it is, what kind of process it entails,
Yeah.
and what personalities you need to do that.
Okay.
I think
Yeah.
UNESCO would be a good reference, obviously.
Yeah, absolutely. There's also another good document that they use in Australia called the Borough Charter, very similar to the UNESCO standards in terms of what's recommended or what's required when it comes to that level of project inside a heritage lighthouse.
Yeah.
Um,
Just like it doesn't have to be like a law, but
yeah,
at least knowing, what's important or not,
Yeah.
I think it's very important for.
absolutely. Because the thing is that we have access to all of these ATOM managers here at Iala. They might not necessarily be looking at UNESCO or other documents or other organizations similar, but if we could be almost a guide to say, consider this, consider the UNESCO guidelines, recommendation standards, then I think we're helping heritage in the long run. So I really think that, this could be quite a useful guideline. I think it's one we'd need to sort of work out the parameters for it. And yeah, because restoration of a heritage building, that could be so many things. So what do you think it perhaps being about, like if you're restoring these particular materials on site, like limestone or like timber structures, or are you thinking a bit broader in?
I think there's a wide range of things that to think about. I think it's not something that I think I could just
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
you could think
I'm just
about.
thinking.
I think like maybe that's a good starting point of thinking of what
Yeah,
is going
absolutely.
the visuals. There's something invisible aspects, like cultural things also that's
Yeah.
very important. Like
Yeah.
original something like
Yeah,
there's so
yeah.
many things that could be included in this
Yeah.
name.
Yeah.
But I guess the starting point, the simple one is, the structure.
Yeah.
The materials.
Absolutely, yeah.
Colors and,
Yeah, I
yeah.
agree. I agree. And I think that's preparation of or drafting of a guideline. I think that's doable in the time frame as well for the task period too. I think yeah, no, I think it's an excellent idea. Any thoughts on that one in particular?
Maybe we can just, I think it's kind of necessary to look through the existing guidelines to see if it is like current guidelines contains any perspective of the restoration so that it doesn't replicate any.
Agreed. Yeah.
Because I think like Ayala tends to avoid creating too many guidelines or recommendation or just rather revising existing ones. So maybe we can just look through what we have for now.
Yeah, that's a very good point. Thank you.
Then your documentation is touching
on it, yeah.
and you're emphasizing the research, which I think is very important. That I think, what I really liked about your documentation is emphasizing the research part.
No, thank you. Yeah,
So,
I agree. And it might be that this minimizing negative impact for new installations and that this guideline goes forward. And then when this one's drafted, that other one can be updated to say refer to this new guideline for advice on restoration so that we can avoid that duplication of advice. But no, I really think that this could be a good task, particularly that we have architectural expertise in the room as well. I think that would be very beneficial when it comes to restorative works. But no, brilliant. Any other thoughts on that one as a task moving forward? Anyone online? Any thoughts on that? Okay, well, I might. Oh, Lujua, did you have something?
I think do we need to update the lighthouse menu as a task?
Yes, I have that on my list, absolutely. So we have, as Lujuan just mentioned, we have. Are you? Sorry, hang on. Let me see. My documents all over the place. So, are you referring to the complementary use manual from 2017. Which one?
Yes. The complementary use menu. Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you. Yes. So this is a fantastic document that was brought out by this working group in 2017. My internet is going a little bit crazy. I'll just bring it up so that everyone can have a quick look at it. You can find it under the Heritage Documents section of the Iala website, and it's just loading very, very slowly. You can download it. So it hasn't been revised since 2017. So we're coming up to, a decade now since it was first brought out. So it's, in my opinion, I agree. It's time to revisit this one. Hold on a second. I've just had to download it again. Here we go. So this, for those of you who aren't familiar with the document, this is it here. So as you can see, it was revised in 2017. This was excellent. It's a beautiful document in terms of how it was put together, all the pictures and stuff like that. And this was put together by my current manager, Neil, in the UK. And so I'm hoping he still has the all of this artwork that he put towards it, because it'd be good just to be able to go in and update that. But basically this has a look at what principles and checklists and that when it comes to using complementary use of lighthouse estate. So for those of you who aren't familiar, complementary uses refers to different ways you can use a lighthouse property or a lighthouse building that isn't to do with the safety of mariners at sea. So it could be tourism, it could be accommodation, it could be a number of things. We've explored in this group alone all the different ways that you can use lighthouse estate for a variety of things. Tony, his authority makes port in one of their lighthouse estates, which is he demonstrated that for us, which was fantastic. And I think that this is a document that needs to have a review and suggest updates. So I will definitely add that one to the list. I'd highly recommend, if you hadn't had a look at this document, please go and have a look at it. That would be, because it is quite comprehensive. As you can see, it talks about developing conservation plans, in measuring the success of them. It talks about the legal issues of complementary use, and again, we might need to make sure that this is in line with the quality checks that they're doing as well at the moment with any output documents. Developing business plans, it's extremely comprehensive, and if this will, I can imagine, take the entirety of the task period to go through, and we'll need potentially a bit of work done on this one. I'm going to add that one to the list. Review and update. Okay, any initial thoughts on that task at all? Are we in agreement this is a good task to add to the task register for the next period? Okay, brilliant. Okay, that's good. That's good. So another one I had on my list as oh yeah, of course.
You mean renovate recreate this document, and what kind of document?
So
This one.
Now it's manual, but we have this kind of document in Ireland.
It's 2017. So Sarah needs to renew it, right?
yeah, it's an existing Iala heritage manual that we have that belongs to our working group as one of our heritage documents. And so I'm suggesting for this next task period, we go through it and review it make sure that it's all still relevant, that it's useful as well, whether we need to add more sections to it, whether there's some sections that either need to be removed or could be amended. But I think we can keep it as a manual. Again, that's something that we can discuss as a working group as we move forward, but it will just be simply reviewing and updating it and just, yeah, making sure that it's all in line with the new IGO sort of standards as well. Okay, brilliant. So yes, another possible idea I had for a new task is potentially, and this is something that I need to develop in my head a little bit before, but it's something to consider, is perhaps a new guideline on recording heritage ATON. I know this is something that Peter did touch on, I think it was this time last year, or potentially in a session prior to that, where he was talking about how are we retaining photographic, video, sort of oral evidence of our heritage lighthouses, because we have a lot of foghorns in the United Kingdom that have been decommissioned. We don't know what they sound like anymore. We didn't have the technology perhaps at the time or the thought to record the sounds of the foghorn or to record video footage of a rotating beam, because they're now being replaced for flashing lights rather than sweeping ones. So whether, I don't know if a guideline would be the best thing for that, but to perhaps give some guidance on if you're using technology that's being replaced, and it might be that this could just be slipped into my current guideline that I'm working on, even, who knows, how can you go about making or retaining evidence of what an ATON site or an ATON itself looked like or sounded like, or yeah, that's something, because as we move on now, you know, the way that people even keep their photos and videos and everything, that you have the physical copies from, you know, the 1950s and 60s, like, you know, and that might fall under the artifacts as well. I'm not sure if photographs are mentioned, but how do you store them so that they, you know, have a longer life cycle? And for those of us that have a lot of digital files now, how do you manage those digital files? Because we have, you know, hundreds of gigs of data, of photographs and of videos each year that come in of our lighthouses, that it, you know, a lot of them are changing as well, and they're the last bit of evidence that we have. So that's something that I don't know, what are your thoughts about that? Do you think this is something I could just slip into my current guideline that I'm doing, or could it be something quite separate?
I think it's clear separate.
Yeah.
I think it's very important. And very valuable archive.
Yeah. Yeah.
It also include, you know, the lighthouse, the complex, and the surrounding natural environment as well, like showing the harsh, you know, sometimes that I think really helps.
Yeah.
Putting the lighthouse in a context.
Yeah.
I think all those, how do you do that? I think it's very important.
Okay. Yeah. So you think it could potentially be separate? Yeah.
For me,
Yeah. No, thank you. I really appreciate your thoughts on that. Because like you said, it could extend to other documentation, like drawings or report. I'm not sure, that might be going a little bit too broad, but yeah. Any thoughts on that one?
But you will need to record that when the old technology is gone, but wouldn't be like some part of to say, but when you have to record something, it means like old technology is gone. So wouldn't it be different with when you modernize the heritage lighthouse?
Yeah.
It'd be different with that.
As in recording the modern. Yeah, I think it might be that we're being proactive, and maybe even if it is new technology, it could be making a record of that as well, because is that
Yeah, I'm just basically asking like what would be different between that document and the current document you're revising.
Yeah, I see. Making it clear that they're separate. Yeah, okay. That's something I think we'll have to workshop. I think if we move forward with a new document to make it clear what can be used for what. Because yeah, like I said, there's that phase 4, which is about making records of changes.
Right.
That's something that could reference this about record management of heritage archival documentation potentially. I'll add it to the list for now, but it's something that we can discuss and see if it's relevant. Okay, hang on a second, let me get that back up for you. I'm just playing around with the names of the tasks at the moment, so I'll have a think about the names and that as we go. Tony. Hello. We're chatting about new tasks for the task period. I wonder if you could just, I know we touched on it briefly before, this designation work. I wonder if you could, for those who are new in the room and online, about what our previous discussions have been, what this task is shaping up to look like.
Documents that I wrote and my computer works. And you want me to talk about it right now, right?
If that's all right with you.
Thank you, Sarah. That's good. And the last sessions we discussed a lot about who will be the winner of the Iala Heritage Lighthouse of the Year. And it became quite clear for all of us that the main issue and the main goal of that prize was to maintain the lighthouse as a cultural thing, not a competition between countries about the prize. Otherwise, it get clear also that all of us needed tools to say to the financial groups that we need support to maintain the lighthouses as a cultural thing. So the idea that was born here is to create something like a designation, a Iala heritage designation that recognize that part of the heritage, similar to UNESCO or something like that. Something simple, but that can bring to all of us that tool that is needed. So I wrote something like lighthouses are enduring symbols of maritime safety and human ingenuity, representing centuries of technology, progress, and cultural identity. However, many historic lighthouses face threats from automation, environmental degradation, and loss of heritage recognition. Establishment of an Iala Heritage Lighthouse designation creates an international framework to identify, preserve, and promote this exceptional structure. This is the justification for that designation. The Iala Heritage Lighthouse designation recognizes lighthouses of outstanding historical, architectural, technology, or cultural significance that have contributed to maritime navigation and heritage worldwide. The criteria, we debated that in the last session, the lighthouse should meet at least 3 of the following criteria: historical significance, architectural or engineering value, cultural or symbolic importance, operational legacy, conservation and management quality. So one of these three three of the five have to be present. Nomination process. Nominations for the Iala Heritage Lighthouse designation should be submitted through the component National Maritime Administration, Lighthouse Authority, or officially recognized heritage institution. Each member state may nominate up to 3 lighthouses per calendar year. Each nomination dossier should include official nomination form, historical and technical report, photographic documentation, statement of heritage significance, conservation policy evidence, and accessibility confirmation for reviewing. All nominees should be transmitted to the Iala Secretary and assembled to the Iala Engineering and Sustainable Committee, the exchange. Evaluation procedure. Initial review by the Iala Secretary is the first filter. Technical assessment by the committee and recommendation issued to the Iala. Final designation approved by Iala Authority. Designation and recognition. Successfully nominees receive an official certificate, including the Iala Heritage Register and authorization to display the Iala Heritage Emblem that we are supposed to define right with the following guys. Duration and review. We discussed this because once heritage, not always an heritage, because there has to be a compromise from the country or national authorities to maintain the heritage of an importance. So we talked about to remain valid for 5 years, and then you have to renew with another submission. Right? So that can bring and guarantee to Iala that all the members maintain all the things that they needed to be. Public engagement. Designated lighthouses are encouraged to promote educational activities, maritime heritage awareness, and public accessibility whenever visible. So that's what I was working to. So that is the idea.
Thank you, Tony.
I was trying not to put a complex thing here because at some point it's the same process as the Iala worldwide World Heritage of the Year, but we can do it more 3 or 4 times a year. That's my point of view.
Thanks, Tony. So just for those of you who aren't familiar with the current process that we had and how that's changed over the years, when Heritage Lighthouse of the Year, the accolade was brought brought to life, countries could submit as many lighthouses as they wanted, and we uploaded them all onto the Iala Heritage website, as you can see up here. So these are all of the nominations for Heritage Lighthouse of the Year that we've received since its inception in, what was it, 2019? 2018? Yeah. There's quite a few, and we were getting to the point now where, you know, if a lighthouse was nominated that year and it was considered for Heritage Lighthouse of the Year, if it didn't receive the accolade for that year, it would then roll into the next year and the next year. And it was getting to the point where we had so many submissions we had to consider each year because it was rolling on, that we changed the way in which nominations work. It's now changed so that a lighthouse from one lighthouse from each member state and associate territory now can nominate their lighthouse, just one each year, within a specific window, and that's the only year in which that lighthouse is considered. It doesn't roll on anymore, but we add all of the nominations that we get from each country. We continue to add them to this. And there's been a lot of discussion about, you know, how having the Iala name attached to your lighthouse is very beneficial when it comes to, you know, applying for permission to do heritage works or for funds or grants. and also, you know, for tourism and that, it's really helpful, and it therefore benefits the heritage significance of the place as well, because there's a lot more attention to it. It's got it could have an extra level of significance to it by having the Iala name attached. So this designation is to, instead of countries being necessarily restricted to just one lighthouse each year for Heritage Lighthouse of the Year, this opens it up again so that we could give them sort of like a stamp of this is an Iala Heritage Lighthouse, which I think is a fantastic idea. And I think that it only has benefits really to it, rather than just one nomination a year for Heritage Lighthouse of the Year. I think that this would be a great task for the next task period. There's Tony's done so much work in sort of laying it all out, and the criteria and the framework, and that it will just then become fleshing it out in full. What does this certificate look like? Whose name are we putting on it? Is this an Iala Secretary General signature on it, or is this from the engineering committee and our working group? So it's just working out the scope of that. Any thoughts on that one at all as a task? Do we think this is something that we could push forward with? And yeah, any comments online at all? Okay. Well, yeah, I think that this would be a good task to add. It will be a big one, and it will take a bit of liaising with Alwyn, the chair, and the wider Iala community to sort of make sure that they're sort of aware where the separation is with Heritage Lighthouse of the Year, and then this, and how it is different. But yeah, that one I think would be a really good one to add. I'll just put it on here. Are there any other tasks that we could tackle in the next task period? Yeah.
If you remember, Ksenia that had presented huge project, Russia from sea to sea, and that's why I have addition for recommendation or guideline, maybe both. So maybe create some documents about creation of 3D electronic models for saving this information in electronic view. For first of all, for popularization of this, and second for using during some renovation or reconstruction after some problems, after some destroying, or during some renovation.
Yeah.
So the name that I suggest creates creation 3D models of lighthouses.
Are you thinking like a guideline for?
I think it should be both, because we can do recommendation without guideline. We have no such guideline, but in guideline there is too short information. And so recommendation, I think it's rather will be rather big document.
So,
but maybe it should be one of the part of document that was called
archival material. That's what I was thinking. Yeah. I think it could.
Collaborate.
I think.
Anyway,
think so.
we should have, or maybe not another way. We should have guideline
Mm,
for both of them
okay.
and two recommendations.
So what's the 3D modeling that
How I understand this? See, when you do 3D models, you should understand that some conditions, condition of place in what in that is located lighthouse. You should understand I don't know, meteorological conditions. After that, you should to create this 3D model in electronic view, and the first, the very beginning, you should to choose devices for this creation. So,
Yeah.
what about? What about?
So the purpose of the 3D mapping that you're doing, is that for record keeping? Yeah, for like what is it that you're doing the 3D mapping for? Like what's the purpose? What is that being used for? Once you've mapped out a lighthouse, is it there is a record or an archival file?
You mean how can we see the result?
Oh yeah. Or what do you use that for? The result. What is that then used for?
What we do it for?
Yeah.
Why are you doing
Yeah.
3D modeling of the lighthouse?
I have explained.
Mm.
First of all, for popularization.
Yeah.
Because we, if you want to see some Russian lighthouses, and you have no possibility to travel to the Far
You
East,
can see it.
for example,
Mhm.
you can open this website and see on this.
Yeah.
And this is first. The second time is going on, and some lighthouses are destroyed with some meteorological reason, with some vandalism reason, some, I don't know, with earthquakes, and any other reasons. And sometimes we should have not only paper project, not only paper documents, but if we have these 3D models, sometimes it could help us to understand how it was.
Yeah, absolutely.
And next view, for maybe we decide to change project of lighthouse. Is it possible? It's possible. And on this place, we absolutely destroyed old lighthouse and built new one. And how people in future can see how it was.
Yeah.
They can see this 3D model. My suggestion is not about creating this kind of 3D models in that way that we had done this. This is, in my point of view, this guideline should be about any kind, and it must be it must be done in common view. So we have this way of saving this information, and we can do by this way. I don't know. For example, by drones, like you describe this, and also like we do this by photos, by lidars, by lasers, scanners. There are a lot of
Yeah.
That's
I think that is a fantastic specific case study that could be applied to this archival material. And I think that 3D mapping in general could be a big part of that archival material guideline that we're suggesting. I think it could be within the same guideline, because I think it will be talking about, if we had two, I think there would be a bit of duplication there. So I think it makes sense to combine the two in that.
Yeah, we can start and think about it.
Yeah. No, but it's an excellent,
And
because
any way we can combine and separate it.
yeah. I think that would be extremely beneficial. Trinity House have started 3D mapping their lighthouses, but it's not for tourism, which I don't even think they've considered that.
Not only for tourism.
No. They're doing it to keep track of the like erosion of the land, and also to help them do their inspections of the lighthouses in areas that they can't see with their, just themselves. So it's useful in so many different ways. But I think tourism, Trinity House haven't even thought of that yet in using their 3D mapping. So
no, inspection of lighthouses of any kind of add-ons, it's different from 3D modeling.
yeah.
Because inspection, it's some operative work for knowing what the problem at that moment.
Yeah.
But not for saving.
Yeah.
So,
Yes.
I think it's important for us to define what is the main strategic goal for this group in this period of ENG25 study. Otherwise, we will be completely dispersed on green guidelines all over the world without scoring a goal. What is the main reason of this group? Save on lighthouses heritage or what? Because we are always repeating that we are guidelines to see, and we don't make a score. I think that it will be important for us to define what is the strategic objective to 25 certain before we define what tasks have to be made. What is the reason for us in 25 certain? What in the end, what we want?
No, it's absolutely right. And I know that in 2018 we had the Incheon Declaration, which I think really paved the way for the direction of our group and also the direction of Iala. And here's just a little excerpt of it, which I'll share. And that sort of paved our recommendations and our guidelines at this point.
Revisit the Icheon Declaration and do another thing because the times changed a lot since 2018. Another thing. So the world is changing and we are still working on the past. I don't know.
I think we are evolving from 2018 after Incheon Declaration. As you referred, the certificate point of view is preservation and utilization of a heritage, and another certificate for World of Lighthouse for the year is public relations. So I think we need to separate the two parts. Yeah. So technical thing and another thing is for civilian or some normal people. So I think this is not radically our aim. As we talk and discuss, we evolving. So
Mhm.
we are developing our agendas and strategy.
Yes, but
Mm.
my country
Mm.
is expecting
Mm.
for me
Mm.
to be here and working on a strategy for the all the ATOM.
Yeah.
In all levels.
Mm.
This is just a community.
Mm.
So I think it's important because there is a real change between 2018 to our days. Iala changed.
Mhm.
So we have to
That's
change
true.
also.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
And the best way to start is, okay, we are fulfill all the steps or milestones till the end of 27.
Mhm.
Now it's up to us to define a strategy
Mhm.
for the next 3 years.
Yes.
So let's do it.
Mhm.
Let's define a strategic goal and talk to the council.
Mhm.
For this working group,
Mm.
we will want to propose this main strategy for the next 3 years.
Yes.
Mhm.
And all the things we've done, or all the things we are going to do, it will going to be
Yeah.
on that direction.
Mm.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we are going to keep here the model 1.1, the
Mhm.
Yeah.
No, it's complete. Yeah, what you've just said is completely true. I'd recommend we all then have a look at the Incheon Declaration and have a look at what has changed since then. Because we're talking about, it's things have changed since then. It's good to know what has changed. What is it about the declaration that perhaps isn't relevant? What is it that needs to be developed? Because then if we can bring out an updated declaration or a new declaration, then yeah, that's something that would, I think, be very beneficial to this. I think in terms of,
There is terms of reference of working group.
sorry.
There is terms of reference of working group 3, and there is all this information that you want. There is document that calls terms of reference committee, terms of reference working group, and there is information about introduction, scope, topic and activities and development.
I
try to explain that there is there are aims that we have to achieve that we have reached in these terms of reference. This is our main document of our work. So, no?
Biggest thing that it's really that things that are
No, but I'm not talking about
yeah,
this.
yeah.
I'm not talking about that.
No.
No, that's general. We are coming here. This is a committee, so we are working on technical things about whatever we want to talk. I was talking about another scope. We are talking about the ENG25 to ENG30, and we are talking about what tasks can we put there to what should we do in this period. And I was saying that perhaps rather than put tasks, put us a main goal, a strategic object, and then tasks to achieve that goal. Because a lot of things was changed in these 6 years, 80 years. A lot of things changed. The Iala's changed. Iala was another thing, and now another thing. So probably we have to start by defining a strategic scope, and then say to achieve this, what can we do? What tasks can we bring on here?
I think I think it's worthwhile looking at the declaration again, but I think you have to differentiate that, declaration. I feel like it's more of a general
Yeah.
direction, like you said, it's about heritage and promotion. I think which could work for all separate terms, and I think what you're saying could be more about just the concept of clarity. Within that each and the big idea. But I think it's worthwhile looking always. But I think you have to a little differentiate.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just got the terms of reference that you were referring to, but like I'm just gonna pull them up for the benefit of everyone else, which is here. So this is currently what we've got working towards. Let me just see if I can zoom that in a bit. Yeah. So we talk about how ACE navigation, the artifacts, form an important part of national heritage, being recorded, preserved for future generations, the scope, all aspects of heritage, including the preservation and maintenance of lighthouses of heritage interest, also the preservation of artifacts and documents to guide member states in their support of the Incheon Declaration. Topics and activities, exchange of information, experience and maintenance and preservation of lighthouses, asset management of heritage buildings, and then deliverables as a part of that. So I think if we're talking about strategic aims, what is it about this scope, the topics and activities, what is it that we are missing or need to tweak, so to speak? I think that this describes our aims as it is. I don't know what's going on with this TV. But oh, it was there. No, I just clicked it. Oh. Okay, I've clicked it and I'm not going to touch it. Okay. I think that this is what we need to look at. And also, of course, it's reference to the Incheon Declaration. I know that that was quite groundbreaking when that declaration was enacted and signed by our but this is basically our core, and when I talk about the tasks coming up for our next task period, yes, I was looking at this as where we're coming from, but if we need to tweak this, then I think this session is a good chance to do that as we're talking about new tasks coming up. So what do we think about that scope and those topics and activities? What's missing? Like I said, we're talking about times have changed. What is it that we need to update here for our scope? Maybe this is something we can revisit throughout the week once we've had a bit more of time to think about it. What do you guys think about that? I don't think that's us. I don't think so. I think it's the next room over. I can't see anyone with their microphones up. Anyone online have any thoughts on that? Looking at the scope of our working group, our topics and activities. That's so loud. Yeah.
Perhaps design a heritage referent in each country. I don't know if each country have designed a specialist or a group to think about these heritage issues. Because in France we have a strong legal protection with the state architectural experts, and there is no harmonization between each regional each region. Each architect give advice or give norms to respect, but for one lighthouse it's that thing. For another lighthouse it is not necessarily the main advice or norms. That's in France we have a convention with the Ministry of Culture and the Ministry of Seas to expect and work on these definitions and what is the strategy. I rejoin because there is no strategy or not partage strategy on the global level of country. Then the local persons who work in the lighthouse are afraid about this because the conference is more expensive for the restoration of the lighthouse, and they want to have a strategy of level of country.
Yeah. So that's more from a national sort of level for each side. Yeah. It is tricky.
Yeah, need architects, technical, and it is a several point of view to make heritage issues. It is difficult because there is no only a ton. It is sometimes a political object.
Yeah.
And associations are very strong, and they want to preserve the identity of the lighthouse, the identity of the light too. And it's become a political object and not only a technical issue.
Right. Yeah.
For example, the lighthouse of the Creash, it is very important, and it is followed by the Ministry of the Seas, and we have all the body works on this site, but there are many lighthouses to preserve, but it take a lot of time. Or one example.
No, thank you. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, it's I think for this, and again, I don't know why the TV's turned off. It's so annoying. But that scope and the activities and topics that I had there, that's our terms of reference for our working group. I think if we're talking about updating that, potentially having a look at the declaration and update to that, or a new declaration altogether, that's something that this group will need to have a look at, and like I said, see what's missing, what's changed, and how could we update that to better reflect the topics that we discuss, the activities that we're doing. So I'll chat with Alwyn too about, what the process is involved with new or updated declarations and updated terms of reference as well, because I'm not too familiar with that. These terms of reference was written before my time in this group, I believe. But yeah, thank you, Tony, for pointing that out.
My proposal, just to keep it clear, is going in the same direction as Oleg said, because the digitalization of lighthouses and the AI and things like that are part of our world today. They are not here. So I agree with Oleg, but we have to put it here and propose something to change it, because time changes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's right. 3D modeling, the
Yeah.
visualization, and it's a review. Not just by taskings.
Yeah.
More strategic, that's what I want to say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and again, this terms of reference, like we talk about heritage being recorded and preserved. But maybe that could be something that's fleshed out a bit more. No, I think that's good. If we have a look at those, that will give us.
And what I was saying, these different levels of documents, and some are easy to update.
Yeah.
Some it's not easy, and it's not sometimes necessary to update. So I think you have to look more into that. Because it's that after 10 years, or even now, to be put AI into the calculation, it's a bit of and it's going to change.
Yeah.
So,
Absolutely. We do.
Give up, Sarah.
I know, honestly, I don't know where it's gone. We do have a message in the chat from Valeria, which is, I'll read it to you for those who aren't on there, because I can't put it up on the screen now. It says, I would like to suggest adding an additional task to the group's work, the development of short audio-visual materials to promote awareness and public engagement with historic lighthouses and marine aids to navigation. This could support the Culture and Heritage Initiative and enhance the visibility of lighthouse heritage among a wider audience. Any thoughts on that one? On that suggested task? I'm not sure. Sorry, everyone online. Our TV has decided to turn off, so we can't see anyone at the moment. Might need Isabel potentially.
Let me just tell Isabel.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, so the development of short audiovisual materials to promote awareness and public engagement with historic lighthouses and marine aids to navigation. I love this idea. I think that, like you say, it enhances the visibility and it supports cultural and story initiative that we have as a group and as Iala. Are you thinking these short, Valeria, sorry, I'm talking with you. Do you think that, these short audiovisual materials, are you thinking this would be something that Iala makes, or are we just providing guidance to ATOL managers to create these and encouraging the creation of these videos? I might send you my questions by email, perhaps, if we can't hear from you. But it's a very good point, and I think that'll be one that we can flesh out a little bit more. And I'd be eager to get in touch with you some more about this task idea. Thanks, Mike. Oh. Hello. Yay! Thank you. Yay. Well done.
Simple.
Thank you. So yeah, as you can see here, I'll stop sharing my screen. So yeah, we have Valeria's we can see Valeria. Hi, Valeria. We can see you on screen now. Yes, eager to hear some more about this task idea.
Okay, hello. My name is Valeria. I am lieutenant in the Chilean Navy, and I am very happy to be part of this group and truly look forward to contribute and working together with all of you. And it's my first time in this working group, and since that I would like to suggest in addition thanks of the group work, the development of short audiovisual material to promote the awareness and public engagement with history lighthouses and marine aid to navigation, because I think that is very necessary to improve the different characteristics. The school support the culture and history initiative and extend the visibility of lighthouse and heritage among a wider audience. Or this. Oh, sorry, my English is so.
Thank you. No, thank you so much for your for chatting, and we can hear you loud and clear. So thank you for that. It is a brilliant idea. I wonder if it perhaps already is covered under the branding and marketing guideline that we have, which is 1074. Let me just bring it up for a reference. Maybe the guideline doesn't cover this in full, in fullness. Let me just download it for a second. Here we go. So this is our guideline 1074, which was updated in 2025. And this has a lot to do with how to promote or how to create a brand, how to do storytelling, event marketing. So I think your idea about developing short audiovisual materials, I think this fits quite nicely under this. We've got Lujuan typing, so hopefully, let me have a look and see. Create a visual identity, digital and online presence, storytelling, property, brand reputation. Okay, there might be room for this guideline to include some short audiovisual material guidance. This is to do with website, social media. What do you think? Could this idea about, oh, beg your pardon, is this to do about the new website? Sorry, Valeria, is this for the website you're thinking, or is this something separate?
Yes, it's a new website.
Ah,
Yes.
I see. Beg your pardon. I gotcha. Thank you, Lujuan, for pointing that out for me. Okay, brilliant. Okay, that's a good idea. And I think because we'll discuss the website and Lujuan's proposal tomorrow morning. So I think I might link that in then, if that's all right with you, Valeria, because that's something that we can discuss in full then. Yeah, because it's a good idea. Audiovisual materials. Brilliant. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much.
Okay. So as I said, we've got a few things and as mentioned, there's of course perhaps this larger, broader strategic aim that we might need to review and update. So I think, yeah, like I said, it would be good to use this session this week to discuss that strategic aim. And I ask all of you perhaps to just have a look at the Incheon Declaration and that terms of reference that we have. I'll talk with Alwyn as well. I'll catch him this afternoon and sort of ask him what the process is on reviewing and updating that scope 2. I'm not sure who has to sign off on that level of change. But putting that to one side for the moment, if we're just carrying on with the terms of reference that we have and the scope and activities that we have, are we are we happy with what these tasks look like at this initial early stage? Of course, we'll workshop and develop them as they go along. And keeping in mind, we also have maintenance of the website. Web pages rather.
More about this. You can create a framework about the issue version that party proposal. To a framework as a level of the declaration, right? That's what you said.
Yeah. But I was just kind of saying that there
is a
are
declaration.
different levels of
Yeah.
document.
Don't change the declaration,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
bring up a
Yeah,
framework,
yeah.
and we can create a framework for this period.
Yeah.
Maintaining the framework.
Right. If the regulation is good enough, it's just generating up that whole, all the different changes. I think it's good.
So let's
Yeah.
work on the framework
Yeah.
for this session. So, and that's, it's coming to the framework. Right. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
if you want.
Yeah.
What is the best way? Because changing a version is not.
Yeah, it's
We're gonna be working on the nav guide as well, because I don't think we have discussed this session, right? It's always there though. We haven't talked about it.
Yeah, so we did it at the start of the task period. I updated our sections, but I was going to suggest that actually is nothing, because that was just more of like a update the terminology that was being used in our section, but it could be that the nav guide have
More
more
like at least let us related guidelines as well, and maybe we can update the
yeah,
latest revision.
absolutely.
All of this can do IGO, yeah. Only can be the framework to this area. And then put the all the tasks that you have underneath that, you maybe fit our framework salvation.
That's all right. It's good. I love it. I love it. No, keep going. I was loving it. It's great. Great discussion. Mm.
There is no boundaries
Mm.
for us, so we can put all here and talk about everything and
Mm.
bring on and bring on and bring on and create like a snowball.
Mhm.
Just keep going, right?
Yeah.
So we have to get this moment, and let's change a little bit and put batteries in the framework for the period, and bring on something that can achieve these tasks in the framework.
Yeah.
Okay, so we achieve this one, next period, and another framework. Always considering the declaration.
Yes.
Seems okay?
Let's just,
Yeah.
So independently of on each member can be here, they know what the framework is and what are the tasks that we are delivering for that framework, that period.
Yeah.
Not a never ending story, right?
Yeah.
Sorry for the English. That is not so good. Good one. Thank you, Marco.
Niall has also reminded me that the review and update of the nav guide as well. So there are a few heritage sections and references in there, which it would be beneficial to add that to our task register as well. Which we could shake things up a bit in the nav guide. And I haven't looked at the nav guide in a little bit, so I'm not quite sure what reference it has to heritage APON and digitalization, 3D mapping. That could be something that we could include in there as sort of like this is all the things that we've discussed and all these issues that we've identified. Let's include it in the nav guide. It could be. But if keeping in mind, like as you said, like we're looking at the strategy and the framework for each of the task periods, I think that's a really great idea. I want to keep talking about that this session. I'll keep this list, and as I said, we'll develop it. over the next little bit and make sure that it's in line with the declaration, with our strategy, whether that be our existing strategy or the new one that we want to formulate. I think that will be good. And yeah, okay. Fantastic. Giving me a lot to think about, but I'll go and chat with Alwyn about that strategy side of things. So got a nice little list. Thank you all for that. That's fantastic. I think it gives us a lot of good work to be able to tackle in the coming task period, which will be excellent. Tomorrow, we have, first off the ranks will be Lujuan going through her proposal for the Iala Heritage web pages. And we'll also, as I said, have Gillian from the Northern Lighthouse Board, who is task leader for that, for the maintenance of the web pages, with us as well to discuss that in full. So that will be fantastic. We will also have Kerr present to us on the model, the heritage module for level 1.1, the ATOM managers. So please have a look at the input papers and also past work that Kerr has done. I'll share that with our new members so that we can have a bit of discussion tomorrow morning. At 11 a.m, after our lovely ENG group photo, we will have the presentation. So we'll have Japan Coast Guard present on twinning lighthouses. We'll have Green Cape from Greg, and we'll also have Mike with the World ATOM Day presentation. Have after all of those discussions and after the presentations as well, we will have a look at those tasks that we need to get done by the end of the task period and delegate work to particular people. So have a think about what task you might want to look at. I'll send an email through with all of the tasks that are currently in action, who the task leader is, what their contact detail is, where you can find relevant input documents for it, and have a think. Let me know. You can email me if there's a particular task you would like to work on in particular. Otherwise, we'll go through it tomorrow as well. So just have a think about what task you might like to tackle, and it could be more than one as well. But that's I think the aim for this week is to progress those tasks as much as possible. So does that sound good to everyone?
Yes.
Sound good? Thank you, Meg. Online, does that all make sense? I see Valeria said yes, please. If there's any questions, I've got all of your details now, your emails, so I'll be able to send through all the information for the rest of the week. But thank you so much, everyone, and I'll see you all tomorrow at 9 a.m. Thank you to everyone on the line, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Maybe don't let me go.